Rob Van Dam, listen to True Hill Heat. Pow.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
What's up, True Heel Heat?
True Heel Heat.
What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands is on me.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for NJPW G1 Climax 34 preview with the NJPW Content Avengers, the dream team, if you will, here. I am very happy and proud to bring this preview with you with some of the faces of content when it comes to Japanese pro wrestling and New Japan pro wrestling. Of course, got to start off with my main man, my original tag team partner when it came to talking about NJPW here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy, J News. How you doing?
A little tired, but out here trying to do good things with good people. As I posted earlier on the Twitter machine, for those who don't follow me, this right here, this collective group, this is the conglomeration. That's the word of the day. It's conglomeration. We're here talking about this G1 Climax 34. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's good brother J News back at it again, here with everyone to talk about this G1. Off with the pleasantries. Let's get started.
And of course, we have the most positive of our trio, our usual trio here, the Never Open Weight six-man tag team champions of New Japan coverage on True Hill Heat. It is the one and only. It is her life. It is Sonal.
Hello. I mean, I was gonna start with like how I start my YouTube videos. Hi guys, but I got told that I was personally hurting someone because apparently Chris Jericho says that, and now apparently I traumatized them. So, I mean, that's a thing. So I've got to come up with a whole new intro. So yeah, let's just get going. We're going to talk some New Japan, we're going to talk some G1, and I'm very excited for this year's tournament.
Indeed. And then we go from the most positive when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling to the most negative, as he personally told me himself before I invited him on this show. He is one of the voices and most knowledgeable people when it comes to Joshi Pro Wrestling, but he follows along with New Japan and Japanese Pro Wrestling. Overall, he is Scott E. Wrestling. Scott Edwards, how are you doing?
I don't remember saying that. I don't remember saying I was the most negative. I don't remember it, though. Okay, you have to understand. I fell asleep at 5 a.m. This is 12 p.m. I'm tired, but I'm ready to go. I do know the blocks, so don't worry. I know everything going into this. I'm very excited. Oleg Bolton's my guy. He's winning the whole thing.
There we go. Someone who's going to agree with that is the person I'm giving the main event intro. Like he's the world champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling content. If I'm the Tony Stark, he is the Captain British UK. Captain
There
UK.
is a Captain Britain.
Yeah, there is, but it's a female. So I'll give you Captain UK. It is the one and only, one of the best people when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling coverage and content. You know him from the Bread Club over on Fightful Overbooked. It is Ciaran. How are you doing? Long time no see.
Well, I like that Janu said he was excited to be here with good people. Unfortunately, I am here ruining that sentence. Unfortunately, making a liar out of Janu's.
No,
no.
Sometimes we just gotta, get all together. You know what I'm saying? It's all being together.
But no, whenever SP3 hits me up to jump on something New Japan related, I'm there. He puts up the back signal, carrying on these comic metaphors, and I don the Captain UK suit apparently.
So for everyone who didn't see my announcement, we got an invasion early on. Damn, you made it early. You want to do your intro?
Hi everyone, it's on saying hello.
That's your intro, and tell them to like, share, and subscribe.
Share to subscribe.
And send super chat for me.
And me.
All right, you did your intro. You said hi to everybody.
Hi everybody.
See, that's J News.
Hi.
That's Sonal. They can't see you that you're pointing to them, like you're pointing at the camera. And that's Scott, and that's Ciaran. And who's that?
Dada.
And who's that next to Dada?
And Hanin.
There you go. There you go. Say New Japan rocks.
New Japan rocks.
Right. New Japan needs to sign her up. New Japan needs to sign her up, man. That's some of the cutest advertising you'll ever get.
And I was gonna say, Walker couldn't join us. He got his next commentary partner right here, right? Yeah, exactly. All right, go back to mommy. I'll see you in a bit, okay? All right. Make sure I don't want to slam the door on you. Okay. But yes, as I was saying before, my co-host came in here. Walker Stewart was supposed to join us today. We want to shout him out for sure. We're definitely going to get Walker back on the channel. He couldn't make it today. He's not feeling well, and he's on his way to Osaka. Got to be in Japan in just a few days. So I told him, rest up, get well soon. We will definitely see him on the next one. If you didn't see, I made that announcement on our social media account. But we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. Hear what you thought about what you're thinking about this year's G1 Climax 34 tournament. Who was your picks for the A block, B block? What do you think about the youth movement going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling? We're going to talk about all those topics throughout our preview here. We got Dustin in the chat who says the Avengers of NJPW. Indeed. What's a positive way to say Black Widow? Because that would be you, Sonal. You would be the Black Widow of our Avengers team here.
I mean,
the Light Widow? I don't know.
The Asian Widow? I don't know. What now then?
Wait, we're 9 minutes in and the stream's going to get everyone cancelled already, SP3.
What? I said the light. I was like, what's the opposite of black? I don't know.
I like how you did the opposite, and I was like, we'll just go straight for race here.
I appreciate you, because if I said it, I would in fact be canceled. We got our first super chat donation for one of our main mans who enjoys our New Japan coverage here, Vala B, who sends a super chat donation. It says, look at that. Walker isn't here yet. Scott, want to admit to something? Because we did say during our Marigold and Noah preview that we were going to prove during the stream that Scott and Walker are two different people, but Walker couldn't make it, quote unquote, Scott. So
I have nothing to prove here. Walker is a lot better at his job than I am at mine. I think that should say it all. But hopefully Walker does feel better, obviously. I am not sick. I just want to point that out. I am not sick like Walker is, so I am not Walker. But thank you for calling me out. Appreciate that right off the bat.
I gotta give you a hard time since I got the hard time during our Noah and Marigold preview. We talked about it off here in the comment section because I tried to give you all the love for pronouncing the names right, and I pronounced one name wrong, and I just got roasted.
Well, be better.
Point taken. Valavi said, did you admit to that on the Marigold preview show? You did kind of admit that you are like out of this group, you are the most negative when it comes to.
Oh, for sure. No, that's true. But I'm not like the most negative person in the world about it.
I got in my mentions the other day, I saw someone accuse me of being like WWE Gareth, but New Japan, like NJPW Gareth, and I was like, that one hurt a little, man. I was like, I'm not. I don't suck Kato's dick that badly, man. Like, cut me some slack. I've been very critical. Like, come on.
I just found out this week that someone that's like a WWE drone has another account that he's an AEW mark. So it could happen. It could happen.
Wow. I'm too busy, man. I got time to watch New Japan, and that's it. Like, that's the only reason why I talk about New Japan.
I love it. We're already off to a great start. We haven't even talked about the tournament yet. Vala B with another super chat donation. Thank you, Vala B. He says, Uncle Vala B paying that Harlem tag. I thought she was about to come back in here. She opened the door, and I think she took the cover of my mic. If you could pass that to me. Yeah. But we'll figure it out.
She gets summoned by a super chat. She hears there's a super chat, and she's just like, what's going on?
She's like, that's for me? That's for me? Yeah, I'll take it. And we got Yusuf in the chat. He says, not New Japan related, but only SP3 will get this, but the panel feels like an episode of Quizzlemania. Yes, I do get it because I am the first Black Quizzlemania champion. You put some respect on my name. I just want to mention that. Just want to make sure that's clear. We got also Dustin also saying, man, if only Tempest was watching the product, he has been cool to add. Oh, of course, we love Tempest over here on the chat, but he is busy. He has a lot to do over at Wrestle Talk headquarters, but I'll be connecting with him very soon. But yes, G1 Climax 34 tournament starts next Saturday, July 20th. So we're kind of gauge how everybody's feeling from 0 to 10. What is your hype level for the tournament starting next Saturday? J News.
Well, I've got a healthy buzz about this tournament. We'll be talking about it throughout the recording here, throughout the live stream and stuff. But I feel that they've taken the appropriate first steps in the right direction. It seems like the G1 can be the ultimate reset button, and I hope that by the end of it, that it is the ultimate reset button. So we got to get New Japan on the right track. I feel like the majority of the other wrestling promotions around the world are cooking right now. So New Japan needs to be cooking as well. So I have a very healthy buzz going into the G1 starting next Saturday.
What about you, Sonal? 0 to 10, where's your buzz level out for the tournament?
Probably about 8, because I feel like when I get really close and then I start like obviously like it started on social media, they're giving like the interviews and stuff. I think when it gets like a few days before, I'll be really excited because like Jane, you said, it seems like I don't know if they took on the criticism or this was already planned, but they're really pushing on the like hitting back at those haters that were like, no, they're not pushing like the new guys, and they've got a field of 20 where the oldest competitor is Hiroki Goto. And Hiroki Goto is in still very good shape compared to other people his age. So the average age of competitors is very low. You've got guys going their first tournament, people from different companies. It's a very nice mix. And the return to the 2-block 20 really got rid of some of the unnecessary talent that really should not have been in the tournament at all in the past few years.
Agreed there. Karen, where are you at 0 to 10?
Unlike an optimistic 7 or 8, maybe. I feel like you always go into the G1 so damn hyped, and you get a few nights in, and you're like, God damn, there's still like 20 nights of this left. It's grueling for the wrestlers, but it's also grueling for the fans. Like you miss one night, and suddenly you got like 20 matches to catch up on, and it's not so enjoyable. But yeah, like Jay News and stuff said, like they've taken a step in the right direction. This is Tanahashi's first one as the president, and it kind of feels like his fingerprints have slowly started to come into fruition. Like if we look at who were the champions at the time, Tanahashi got named president. Like, you know, he probably didn't instantly become president, and the next day he was like, I want to do all this. He has to let things, like, you know, gradually slip his way in, start making those changes. And I feel like we're seeing that in who the current champions are, the way the storylines are going. There's not many outsiders as champions anymore, and we've gone full force on the young movement with the G1, cutting all the fat. And Tanahashi took arguably the biggest fall out of everyone in losing to Oleg in like 7 minutes to not be in the tournament. So you know, he's leading by example.
Definitely agree there. We are seeing kind of the fingerprints of Tanahashi slowly but surely across New Japan. Scott, what about you? 0 to 10, your excitement level?
I think I'm at a 7. I think, you know, it's the G1. That's kind of how I look at it. It's like you're instantly excited when you just hear G1 season. They've gone back to the 2 blocks. I have hated the multiple blocks. I do not like that. I've always been the 2 block type for tournaments. I just think it's the best way to do it. You get more great matches. And you kind of look at the blocks themselves. They're very exciting. One block feels like the main eventers block, and the other one feels like the prove it block. And I think that's kind of a fun theme to follow for this tournament. And I think my excitement will probably go up after, you know, day 1, day 2. You know, it just kind of goes. It is long, but you know, this is why we watch. You know, this is why I watch New Japan still. It's the G1.
Absolutely. This is the playoffs as far as when it comes to professional wrestling across the spectrum. It doesn't matter. WWE, AEW, there's no better tournament in professional wrestling than the G1 Climax. So I'm at kind of like where everybody else is at. I'm at a solid 8. A solid 8 is my excitement level for this year's G1. And a lot of that has to do with what they did with the play-in and qualifier tournaments, which saw our some youth being added to the New Japan blocks. As in the A block, you had Callum Newman, who picked up victories over the likes of Yoshihashi and Kenta to make his way to the G1 Climax A block. And then over in the B block, it was Boltin Oleg, who defeated both of his partners for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team titles, Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi, in less than 7 minutes, and then defeating Tai Chi to make it to the B block of the G1 Climax 34 tournament. So I did warn everybody before we did this panel that we're going to do debate style and see where everybody's gauges, everybody's opinions are at. So what are your opinions on Callum Newman going over the likes of, you know, Yoshihashi? Tomohiro Ishii was also in his qualifier play-in tournament bracket. And you have Boltin Oleg, who went over the ace, the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and then Tai Chi, who a lot of people were kind of upset, including someone on this panel I think is a big Tai Chi fan. We'll get to her shortly. But Kieran, I'll start with you. What did you think about the youth movement? Was it the right move for Callum Newman and Boltin Oleg to be in this G1? Or would you have liked at least one of these veterans, whether it be Ishii, Tanahashi, Tai Chi, to make it into the tournament?
Now, with all due respect, like, fuck Callum Newman, man. I'm so hyped about Boltin Oleg. Boltin Oleg is my guy. I love this man so fucking much. Ichiban Meat Boy, like Valabi has said in the comments. There's just something so endearing to me about him. He's like a giant panda or something. Like, you know, you see the clips on Instagram and they're just falling out of trees, but they're like indestructible. He's just like, when he first came in, he was so green, but still so like dominating and menacing. And for all the talk about what are New Japan doing right, what are they doing wrong with all these new guys and these young guys, they've smashed out of the park with Oleg. He debuted in the Tokyo Dome wearing his own like amateur wrestling style gear. He won the Never 6-Man Openweight Championship as a young lion. After that, saying he's graduated, dropped the title and said, nah, fuck that. I want them titles back. Won them back for his side. And then he squashed Tanahashi, beat Yano. And the match against Taichi was so interesting because it was the first time we saw Oleg not just be the happy-go-lucky Hontai guy. He hit Kamikaze. Taichi kicked out. It's the first time it's been kicked out of. And Boltin Oleg, like, kind of was like, well, what do I do now? And Taichi selling the ribs great, and Chris Charlton's on commentary saying maybe, you know, Taichi seems to have a cracked rib. And Oleg honed in on it. He was kneeing Taichi in the rib. He hit an F5, which we hadn't seen from him before, and he hit another kamikaze. He just honed in. It was the first time we saw a more mean side of Boltin Oleg, which we hadn't seen. So that's just so exciting. Like, we're getting these little bits of character come out slowly but surely in Oleg. I think he needs to drop the Young Lion music, probably. I don't mind if he wants to just keep the black gear, but let's get a bit, let's keep the fucking Boltin Oleg train going. Jushin Thunder Liger even said he wants Oleg to win. Like, let's make a legend right here, right now. Someone debuting a year and 6 months ago. Like, what was it? January 23, he debuted in Tokyo Dome. Imagine if he wins the G1 now. It's not happening. Of course it's not. It's a pipe dream, but I wouldn't be disappointed.
I like the way you're thinking here, and we got a bunch of love in the chat for Boltin. You got Frantic World. This says Boltin looks like a heavyweight that can hit hard, but I know someone was disappointed on our panel here. Sonal, you are, in my opinion, one of the biggest New Japan fans out there. You're a huge fan of Taichi, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone else on this panel agrees with you. Do you think that Taichi should have made it into the G1, or are you satisfied, happy that we got the youth of Colin Newman and Boltin Oleg in the G1 this year?
It's an odd one, right? Because, so this is a personal thought, and I always seem to say this when you get Young Lions things. I understand that Callum is almost taking the spot of Will Ospreay, but I would have loved Callum to have started in the junior division. I think that is maybe where he could have thrived and then moved up. Not saying that he should follow Will Ospreay's journey, but I just thought it'd be great. He could really bring a fresh blood into the junior division and give a really proper, speedy, high-flying guy. So I think because obviously I am gutted Taichi's in, because I don't know why, but with him being in Just 5 Guys, I had hope. I think I said this, to be fair, like the past 3 years, that Taichi would really, I mean, I know people already love him way more than a few years ago, but that he could get into the tournament. He wasn't going to win it, but get some big wins over some big guys who have smaller titles, maybe the likes of Hanare or Finlay. So I think if I wanted Taichi to be in it, maybe over Callum Newman. However, I think it's perfect to have Boltin Oleg. I'm like Kieran, where I think he needs to ditch the Young Lion black shorts. I think that sort of ruins the whole, he's very domineering. He's moved on from that, especially because he didn't have an excursion. I think you almost need in the G1 to see this decisive split from Young Lion Oleg to to main roster Oleg. It was a really good tournament, however, I'm not gonna lie, and people are gonna hate on me. I'm gonna miss Toru Yano's match, because not only are they extremely short, which means that some of the shows will be nice, I kind of like the humor in them. I understand, if you're gonna get rid of someone, it is gonna be a Toru Yano. But you know what? I can't hide my sadness. But yeah, the main thing is I think Boltin Oleg is gonna be perfect. I said this, I think I can't remember why I said it, but I think he might have had probably the strongest showing since graduating from being a Young Lion. Maybe not as much as Okada, but similar. What guy has basically got rid of his Young Lion status, won titles twice. I know it's just never 6-man, but they're still titles. Beat, like you said, 3 veterans to then get a spot in the G1. I think he is going to, like Kieran said, he's probably not going to win, but he's going to have a major showing and really open the eyes of a lot of fans in this. So sad about Taichi, but yes, Boltin Oleg.
Hashtag fuck Toru Yano, by the way.
I was about to say to Sonal, you had me in the first half.
I got everyone off when I started talking about Yano. I'm very sorry.
Jay News, I know you yourself is a big Tomohiro Ishii fan. You know, he is getting up there in age, but I think that we can all be in agreement on one thing. He had the match of the qualifier tournament. Him and Yoshihashi in Kurgan Hall. It was a banger. Are you upset that, we couldn't get one of those stalwarts like Tomohiro Ishii, maybe a Taichi in there? And how do you feel about this youth movement? Do you think it was the right move?
To answer the portion of the Ishii question directly, am I upset? Not necessarily, because it's been the last year and a half, almost 2 years that we've been winding down his career. For us professional wrestling fans, we're not going to miss Tomohiro Ishii. He's going to be on AEW TV for the next couple of weeks, so we'll be fine on that end. But out of the G1, it's tough to see. Ciaran, I will not stand for the Callum Newman slander, sir. I am here to be biased as hell, and that is what I'm going to continue to do.
I actually like Callum Newman. I just love fucking Bolton Oleg. I just wanted to talk about Bolton Oleg for 5 minutes, basically. Callum Newman was victim to that.
But
he's the victim.
But no, man, I think that the youth movement thing, it's necessary, right? We've been talking about this for a while, right? Where's the company going? Everyone, whatever they want to call it, defecting, signing with other companies, things of that nature. New Japan Pro Wrestling needs to make new stars. This is the way to go about it. The Tai Chi match with Bolton Oleg, to both Sonal and Ciaran's points, it showed me a different side of Bolton Oleg, right? And I thought that was a good thing from a character perspective, and secondarily, also from an in-ring perspective, you saw a more evolved moveset, right? Which is what I was looking for from him. Because with the blandness of what it is to be a young lion, now that you've been graduated, I want to see more. Give me more, and he gave me a little bit more. Now with the G1. Being the journey that it is for every individual participant, I'm hoping that we're going to get to see even more out of Bolton Oleg in that sense. Man, I think Ciaran said it best. Like, Tanahashi's leading by example at this point, right? He's not putting the straps on himself. He's not pushing himself into the tournament. Like, he really wants to push this quote unquote youth movement forward, or at least new faces movement forward. And I think that that's a good thing. Yeah, man. I mean, Yano out of the G1, we're so used to it at this point. His short matches and the comedy aspect of it. But I think, just from what it seems that Tana's trying to put together from his perspective, what his New Japan vision is, like, he really, it seems, not can't speak for him, but it seems that he wants to take the comedy perspective a little bit away from what we're seeing. He wants it to be more involved, a little bit more serious, it being taken back to the sports-driven, high competition-driven stuff that we're used to. Not used to, but like what New Japan was known for in its heyday, right? Too much of the chicanery and the hijinks with freaking HOT and along with Yano, like when there's too much of that going on, I feel like fans start to tune out. So, a lot of us don't have a big appreciation for House of Torture anyways. So getting rid of that sort of...
Ciaran does. He's told me many times they finished 4th in that poll.
They did, man. They're popular. You can't deny it. They're popular.
No, don't get people started on this.
I've said it twice. I'm not going to tell somebody. I'm not going to say my kid's better than you. He finished 4th. He's going to bring in
a spelling bee thing again.
I mean, if you're selling it to someone's kid that finished 5th, then yeah.
So I didn't say anything. He posted this last night on his Twitter, or 2 days ago. He posted Evil's IWGP Championship win during the freaking pandemic. I didn't say anything. I held back, but I'm going to tell you in person, Ciaran. Never post that again. Never.
I think we're recording this on the anniversary of Evil winning the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship.
The darkest days. I
definitely think I have taken that out of my... I can't even... the Sonada Evil match for his title, I cannot remember a time where Evil held both titles. That's not a thing for me. Erased it.
The darkest of days, but that's
do you also, Ciaran? Do you also remind soldiers of wars they were in and losing their partners on the battlefield?
Oh, I'm logging off.
It's just gonna be 4 people now after that comment.
He's like, I feel attacked.
No, but to finish what I was saying in reference to the G1, like I said, I have a healthy buzz for it. I think that we're going in the right direction. I have a vested interest in what Callum Newman is going to do. I feel like there's a way to make people not look bad, even though they're eating wins. I mean, they're eating losses throughout the tournament. Yeah. So that's my hope with the guys who aren't going to make it through, at least towards the end of the tournament. That no one looks too bad and folks get behind certain characters and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Scott, what about you? I know that you kind of had told me, okay, you're not negative, but you've been down on the New Japan product. Does this fact that we have Boltin Oleg and Colin Newman in the G1 kind of change that in a way, maybe slightly be like, all right, they're making some changes over here. And what about, I think Sonal made a good point. What about Colin Newman in the heavyweight division? Do you think that he should have been started off as a junior, kind of follow the path of Will Ospreay instead of being the mini Will Ospreay in the heavyweight division? What do you think?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I hate the Tai Chi's not in this tournament. I'm right there with Sonal. I hate it. But I like that Boltin Oleg's in it, so it's tough. It's like really tough for me. I wanted them both to be in it. I wish Tai Chi was in the other block qualifiers, because I think he just would add so much to either block of, when Okada left, when Ospreay left, I looked at like the guys like a Tai Chi and Goto and like these guys that are older, but the fans know them and they know that they can deliver in big spots if they get those big spots. And I really am upset that Tai Chi's just kind of been shuffled down even more somehow this year. It does upset me, but I'd be hypocritical if I didn't celebrate the youth movement in New Japan, because that's been the big conversation of the year, right? Not having the young guys necessarily ready, with Okada gone, with Ospreay gone. You go with Oleg, you go with Callum. They're the right moves if you want to build for the future. So I get that. Some people may just say you're building for AEW's future. I don't know. Tough way to look at it. But in all seriousness, I think Boltin specifically should have multiple wins in this tournament. I don't want him taking a bunch of losses. He's a monster. He's unique to the product. Have him get big wins, especially in the block that he's in. There's no reason he can't beat, 4 or 5 guys there, truthfully. You should make someone in this tournament. And I thought to make that qualifier mean more, having someone pick up a bunch of wins would make it mean even more, not just them win, get in, and then go 0-9. If that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm also with you, Sonal, and you, Scott. I think Tai Chi should have been in this tournament. I think that Tai Chi has kind of been a low-key kind of MVP of the last couple of years. I go back to his matchup with Kota Ibushi, where they did 95% kicks to the leg. That's one of my most memorable G1 matches in recent memory. I think that if I was booking for New Japan, I would have hit Tai Chi in the same tournament block as Callum Newman. I'm not saying him over Boltin Oleg. I think we're all in agreement.
Who would you guys realistically drop for Tai Chi, like kayfabe wise? Because I know, it would be nice to not have Evil in the tournament, but kayfabe wise, there's no way Evil isn't in the tournament. So thinking realistically, logically, kayfabe baby, who do you drop for Tai Chi though? Is my question.
It would have been Callum.
Yeah,
it would have been. I thought Callum.
But would you? But do you prefer Callum? You would have Tai Chi over Callum in this tournament?
Yes,
I really think, and I'm going to cement this. I really think he should have stayed. Like, he had great matches, but if you compare his tournament matches to both Boltin Oleg, they were well different. And I don't know. I just feel like, because we always talk about the heavyweights. I feel like he would be the perfect guy in the juniors, because it's been a while since we've had. Because someone in the chat said he's too big for the juniors. It's been a while since we've had someone so tall. Like, we've got Driller, but he's obviously the big, strong guy. It'd be great to have a really tall, fast guy in the junior division. Like, I think he would have been perfect. You don't have to stay there long, but just I think he just would have been a nice change for that. And I don't know if he's ready for the G1. That's just me.
Yeah, like what Scott said before about a guy going through the qualifier and going 0-9. I think that's Callum Newman. I think at best, Callum Newman's looking at 1-8.
Yeah,
1-8. I think that's the best that he can do with the block, especially because he's in, like Scott said at the beginning, one block is the main event block, one block is the prove yourself block, and Callum's in the main event block. So, I don't see a whole lot of wins for him in this.
They might give him one over Evil if we're lucky.
Oh, please. That would pop the crowd so much. It would. I'll start with you, Karen. What do you think for both Bolton Oleg and Callum Newman? What is your points prediction for both guys?
I think the best you can hope for is one win apiece. Like, I would love and agree with Scott. I would love to see, like, they put so much behind Bolton that having him win the tournament to go in to just go 0-9 does sound like such a waste. And he's not got the underdog vibe of Callum Newman. He is a monster, so he's not gonna get over like looking great in losses. He needs to win. Whereas Callum Newman can. If Callum Newman goes 0-9 but puts in a great stint, like people, like he's done his job. If Bolton Oleg goes 0-9, it doesn't matter if every match was if all 9 of those matches were 5-star matches, it doesn't have the same impact for Bolton Oleg. So hopefully Bolton does get a win. Look, I would love more than anything. My dreams are that David Finlay and Bolton Oleg get wins over Konesko Takeshita just to watch the internet explode. More so because everyone will be like, who the fuck's Bolton Oleg? There's no way, like, if you're an AEW main fan, you know who Bolton Oleg is. And if you're an AEW main fan, you have every idea who David Finlay is. And they will be so, like, they'd just implode if David Finlay pins.
They'd be so pissed off. They'd be so angry.
They would.
Kayfabe wise, it makes sense. IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, leader of War Dogs. You know, he has really come into his own. Like, there's every chance it happens. And the people that don't watch New Japan will be so irate. It'll be a fun day.
I'm gonna go with Bolton with 6 points. I think 3 wins is a solid showing for him in his first 3 G1. And because I'm going that high with Bolton, yeah, I'm going 0-9. I'm going 0 points for Callum Newman.
He's getting a doki. He's doing a doki. I'm the best assistant junior.
He's doing a doki. Sonal, where do you stand, Bolton and Callum, points wise?
I kind of hope that Callum gets at least one because I don't know. I've got this dream that he's gonna pin Evil. But with Bolton, I think 6. I think he gonna get a win over like Goto. I feel like that's gonna be 1. Maybe Finlay. I don't know. I feel like in his block, like if Bolton was in the other block, I'd probably say 4, maybe 2. But I think in the block he's in, and just how dominating he could like get a win over Renneria, I think there's much more chance of him getting higher points in the block that he's in, which was maybe done on purpose.
Yeah, that is very true. Scott, where are you with Bolton and Callum point wise?
I think Callum Newman beats Great O'Khan because Great O'Khan is Great O'Khan.
They hate Great O'Khan internally, man.
Yeah, exactly. So like I feel like if anyone could be beat there, it's gonna be him. And
that's Empire versus Empire as well, so that would be quite interesting.
Yeah.
And then B block, I have an Oleg get 8 points. And I put together the math.
Let's fucking go.
I put together the math. He's gonna beat Hanare and get a title shot. He's gonna beat Yu Uemura. He's gonna beat Ren Narita and Hiroki Goto. Gets a big win over the veteran.
I always forget Ren Naria's in it. I just forget about Ren Naria sometimes.
Good.
Most people do, don't they?
I done a whole G1 preview show, and I was like, "Oh, we're only going to get one House of Torture match. It's great," because I was thinking about Evil. Like, it's totally forgot Ren Naria existed.
I forgot about Evil as well. I was like, "Oh yeah, there's like no House of Torture." And then I was saying the list. I was like, "Oh no, Evil's there." Then I was like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's just Evil." Then I did this. I was like, "Oh, Ren Naria's there." I was like, "Oh, so really, it's just Yujiro who's not there."
I think the thing is as well, like if backstage, like they were like, Evil, no House of Torture bullshit. We just need you to go and have a great match with Tetsuya Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., whoever. Evil's capable.
Yeah.
If they said that to Ren Narita, he's still going to go out and have a shit match. So he's fucked no matter what.
You know what I love, though?
He's not good with House of Torture. He's not good without. He's damned if he does. He's damned if he doesn't.
Hasn't he planned a thing that if he gets beaten by Hiroki Goto, he's going to shave his hair or something?
Hopefully retire.
Yeah, she's
I was a step too far.
When Narita gets beaten by Hiroki Goto, he's out of here. He's leaving.
I love the shots being fired here. Jay News, what about you? Bolton, Callum, points prediction.
Points prediction. I'm gonna be a little bit different than most people here. In order for this to work, in my personal opinion, they both have to go even. So, in order for that to they have to make the math work at the end of the day, right? They always make the math work. If anyone here watching this live stream understands the G1, they always make the math work to their advantage, right? Whoever wins out and things of that nature. in this case, if you want to have these guys being taken seriously, and secondarily, don't look like they're at the bottom of the card. Callum Newman can't go 0-9, and Bolton can't go 1-8. It just can't happen. It can't happen. Now, do you have 4 wins in A block for Callum Newman? Maybe. Jake Lee, Evil.
Oh,
Everybody
Jake Lee. Oh, no.
The anti-draw. Jake Lee.
Oh, you guys are all mad about Evil. Jake Lee is my nightmare.
Yeah. So, there's Jake Lee, there's Evil. People were talking about Okan here and whatnot. I can see that going Newman's way because Great Okan's been talking about the separation and disintegration of the United Kingdom, of the United Empire, and everyone else wants to stay on team. So I can see that being a thing within that particular match. And for all intents and purposes, let's butter this up. Callum Newman lost his first match with Naito. What about if he draws?
I don't think he's ready for that. I don't think he's close to doing anything like that.
No, I'm not saying he's going to be in the title picture. I'm not saying that at all. But like to have give Callum some sort of nuance, gravitas, him getting pushed in some sort of a direction. If he draws with him, at least not getting a win, if he draws with him, at least it gives him the possibility of, wait a minute, Callum Newman might be a little bit more ahead of the curve than what we thought, right? From a storyline perspective.
I think like what they're doing, it's really interesting you bring up that Naito match, that singles match, because that was a big match. Like Naito will be the measuring stick for Callum Newman, right, in the same way that Ospreay was for Shota Umino for a while. They have that match while Shota Umino's on excursion, Ospreay batters him. They have it. Red Shoes stops the match, I think, at Royal Quest. They have it again. Historic crossover. Shota Umino comes back. Incredible match. Shota Umino doesn't really get close, and then they have that really long, like 45-minute match last year, and Shota Umino comes so close, and that's kind of the moment you feel Shota Umino made it. I kind of feel like they're lining that up for Naito to be the same for Callum Newman. Yeah. And slowly but surely, Callum Newman will get closer to beating Naito. He'll get closer to beating Naito. I don't think it happens in the G1, right, exactly, right. But maybe a G1 next year. That's when Callum Newman gets over the Naito hump, and that's the next evolution of Callum Newman.
Yeah. No, that's more or less my thought process. Now with Olin Bolton, everyone's point is valid. He's a freaking monster. He's in his block. He's got wins tied up, just like Scott said. There's 4 possible wins. There's 4 possible wins in that block for him. So if they both go even throughout the tournament, I think it's a win-win for both of them. And it continues the train of pushing the young guys, the new generation, and everything of that nature. And that's what we want to continue to see. So that's my thought process behind that. Yeah.
All right. So now let's look at the block. We'll start with the A block here, as Scott called it, the main eventers block, and then Jake Lee. We have over here in the A block, the qualifier winner was, of course, Callum Newman. You got Evil. You got Jake Lee from Pro Wrestling Noah. You got the Bullet Club War Dogs, Gabe Kidd, the NJPW Strong Openweight Champion. You got Zack Sabre Jr., who says that he wants to win the G1 to finally become IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. The Great Okan. You got Sonata, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Another former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in Shingo Takagi. You got Tetsuya Naito, the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And you got Shota Umino. So you got a lot of contenders here, a couple of people that are favorites to win or at least make it out into the playoff. But we're going to go right to the chase. Who do you think wins the A block of the G1 Climax 34 tournament? We will start with Sonal. Who do you got?
We have got a Labour government in power. England has made it to the finals of the Euros. Zack Sabre Jr. is bringing it home. He is going to win A block. And I don't know whether this is my brain or my heart thinking, but there are some, like we said, this is the main eventers block. Zack is a main eventer, but unlike Naito, Shingo, Sanada, and oddly enough, even Evil, he has never got that top title. So I think that this is the perfect chance. He is going to have some amazing matches. Like, there are some, we know he always has great chemistry with Naito and Sanada. I'm excited to see his match against Gabe Kidd. I just feel it that this is Zack Sabre Jr.'s year, and it's going to be a tough block. Like, I think if he was in the B block, I would have been like, yeah, this is going to be a sure thing. This is 100%. But I'm slightly worried, but I'm still going to stick to my guns and say Zack.
All right, we got one for Zack Sabre Jr. Let's take it over to Scott. Who do you got coming out of the A block?
I also am picking Zack Sabre Jr. It feels like now or never almost with Zack. He's just had such an incredible, I think, past 2 years, especially this year. He beat Bryan Danielson. He kind of bullied Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door. He's been talking, when he did the press conference for Forbidden Door, he was all about New Japan. I'm competing in the G1. This is a New Japan guy through and through that deserves the spot at the very top of the card in this company. When Ospreay left, I think everyone looked at Zack and said, all right, it's his time. It's his time to get to the top. I'm not hesitating. I'm putting him through, at least through the A block. We'll talk about the B block, of course, but I think he's got to be the guy. And I think especially next year, looking at Wrestle Kingdom, I don't know if there's an obvious matchup for Naito, but for me, Zack's someone that at least I'm considering. I believe in him too much to pick anyone else in this block, but it's a very scary block to be in for him.
Zack is definitely a favorite for sure. So we'll go over to another UK representative. Ciaran, who you got coming out the A block?
3 for Zack. It's like I don't want to say telegraphing it, but like it just seems like there's no other choice in the A block. Like he had that interview with Sports Illustrated, I think it was, and he was like, Scott said, like it's now or never, and I think he said something like it will. Not that it will feel like he's wasted his career, but kind of like that's the vibe he's giving off. Like this is it. Like if he doesn't make the G1, then what's his entire career been for? Something along those lines. He said. He and the thing is as well with like Will Ospreay took away every accolade from Zack. He was like, Will, the first British person to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, first British person to win this, first English person to do that. The one thing Will Ospreay didn't fucking do is win the G1 Climax. It's the one accolade Zack Sabre Jr. can claim as a proud British person, that he can be the first and only UK British winner of the G1 Climax. And he deserves that at the very fucking minimum. Like, I don't envision a G1 Climax where he is not making the final. And if he does, I'll be so shocked. If he doesn't, I'll be so shocked.
Indeed. We'll go over to J News now. Who you got coming out of this A block? We got 3 for Zack.
We got 4 for the king from the Isle of Sheppey. Look, man.
Like 10 minutes down the road from
you. Yeah. Much to what Scott said, much to what everybody else said. It's a kind of an hour and everything, right? You still have to have veteran presence at the top of the card. There's, the internet conversation about Naito is what it is. I have personally said that there is not too much longer left in those knees of Naito. So we need another veteran presence at the top of the card, and Zack Sabre Jr. is that guy. Beyond the fact that he is still the best technical wrestler on the planet, he is a New Japan guy through and through, just like it was said before. So I think that him coming out of the A block seems fitting. To Kieran's point, like if he can hold, being a G1 winner over Will Ospreay, he'll take it. You know what I'm saying? So that works in that regard as well. And he can put on incredible matches. And at the end of the day, that's what New Japan is known for. So, yeah, man, I'm going with ZSJ as well. And hopefully they do this in a way where it just elevates him to a degree where he hasn't been as of yet. So hoping for the magic, man. Hoping for the magic.
So it's up to me if I'm going to make this unanimous, and I'm not. Because I've been saying for months who it should be. You had Yota Tsuji winning the New Japan Cup in March. That was great, putting over someone new that needed to be up. Now is Shota Umino's time. I think Shota Umino, the shooter, is winning the A block. This man, like Ciaran said earlier, before he started booing me, he had a standout matchup, a match of the year candidate last year at Power Struggle against Will Ospreay that proved that he could get up to that level. He hasn't been given all the opportunities that the other three Musketeers have gotten. Ren Narita's got a shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Shooter did too, and that was one of his best matches of the year against Jon Moxley, when Jon Moxley still cared and was actually motivated, because he was motivated against Shooter to put him over at Resurgence. I thought that the whole Jon Moxley having the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, he would have accomplished something if he had dropped the title to Shota Umino. Just having a 2-month run and dropping it back to Tetsuya Naito, I'm yawning just thinking about it. That was a boring story to tell. It should have been Jon Moxley dropping the title to Shota Umino at Resurgence. So if you weren't going to do it there, now is the time. Shota Umino needs to win the A block. This is all about the youth movement. Everyone on this panel was all for the youth movement when we were talking about the qualifier tournament.
Fuck
but when
them
we get
kids.
to the A block, y'all want to pick someone who's about to be 40 in a couple of years. It's time to push the kids. I care about the kids. I put over my daughter on every stream I do. I don't have no control over that. She just comes in the room. If that's what Shota Umino's going to do in this year's G1 Climax, he's busting through the door. He's putting himself on, and he needs to win because it is his time to at least make the finals here.
I got a question for you, though. Is he even healthy enough to do that?
Yes, he is. He's in the G1. He's in the G1. No one who's not healthy enough is not in the G1. He would have been pulled by now.
Stop it, son.
They could
You
be
don't
kind
even
of close.
believe your own words.
I do.
Stop
I do believe every word I just said. That's
Also,
the whole
Zach's
story.
only 36.
He's
Kind of mean.
got you all convinced that he's injured. That's the story right there. He's fighting through injury to make it to the final.
Shota is not at that level. I think he is so far away from that level, and also he has the Stardust Naito problem of we're being told this is your race, this is the guy you're meant to like. Fans don't like that. We don't want that. I think Shota's being set up for failure here. I don't know whether they want to try and do what happened with Naito and engineer that, because that will fail miserably, because a Naito is a once in a lifetime thing. That's just perfect happenstance. But they're telling us this is the ace, and he does not feel like the ace. He is not ready. He is not there. He should not be in the main event of the G1 Climax.
Are we trying to say
carrying that on, none of the Musketeer guys are ready to main event the Tokyo Dome. I could see.
I think Tsuji could. I think Tsuji, out of all of them,
he's the only one you can make the argument for.
I can make the argument for Shota Umino. Every time you've given him a big spot, a big matchup, whether it be against Moxley, whether it be against Ospreay, he stepped up to the occasion.
He had like the worst match against Naito like last year.
That was the year. That was before all these great performances. That first time, yes, he did shit the bed. I will not go against that. He shit the bed last year at New Beginning, but he didn't at Power Struggle. He didn't at Resurgence. Let's put some respect on this young man's name. Whenever he's been given the big spot in the past 12 months, he has stepped up to the occasion.
Scott's got a strike. He's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not giving in.
My favorite young guy works for Noah currently, and that's Oiwa. So I have no wins here. You know, I think Oiwa was the best of them all. But you know what? I appreciate you getting fired up to be wrong.
I'm fired up to be right. Oh man, y'all can't wait.
I could see Shota getting a win over Naito and challenging on the road to Tokyo. Maybe
that's what your pick's gonna do. That's
what I'm scared is gonna happen.
And he's gonna win.
If Zach beats Naito, then in the blocks, I'm gonna be disappointed because that means there's no chance he's winning the G1. I need Zach to lose to Naito.
Or unless they change it up and this is like a random, they have Zach beat Naito. He doesn't win the G1. He challenges at Royal Quest. He wins at Royal Quest. Then he main events at Tokyo Dome.
Royal Quest isn't happening. That's the only thing.
Yeah, doesn't
Sorry.
seem like that. I will love because I might be still out here. I might still be out here, so I'm hoping and dreaming too.
No Royal Quest 2024. Unfortunately, 2023 wasn't successful enough.
I'll say this because it makes I want to make this differentiation. We're pushing for the youth movement, right? And Sid brings up the point about we want the youth, but how are we picking ZSJ? They're not mutually exclusive. We can have both.
Do you know what the thing is?
No, that's mutually exclusive. Y'all are trying to put over a guy that's older.
You need Naito.
You
Naito
still
is
need a veteran at the top of the freaking card.
Yeah, Naito is at the stage in his career as well now where he once upon a time would elevate the people in the ring with him. He could take a Shota Umino and bring him to a great match, or and stuff like that. And now Naito's at the part of his career where he needs someone to help him. There's not tons of people on the New Japan roster that can do that, but one person that can fucking do that is Zack Sabre Jr. in the main event of Tokyo Dome. He's one of the. If you look at those 20 men, Zack is arguably the only person that can take Naito to a good match and main event at Tokyo Dome in the year 2025.
Absolutely. So I feel like Zack Sabre Jr. would be the person that can do that with the young guys as well. Because if he's going to have to push and carry Naito to a good match.
Look at the World TV reign. Look at that, man. He had matches with Bolton, Oleg, and everything. Like, everyone came out better than that. Jeff Cobb came out better than that. Well, that series and everything. Like, everyone he stepped into the ring.
Shota Umino did too.
Yes, Shota Umino had a great match with Zack Sabre Jr. too. I had him.
I mean, to be fair, all the people that you said he had great matches with, they're like world renowned as some of the best in the world.
Well, not Jon Moxley.
Even Gabe Kidd even said, if you can't have a good match with Will Ospreay, you should hang up your boots.
Yeah.
The most volatile man.
Jon Moxley is not motivated in 2024.
I didn't like the Jon Moxley match, so there you go.
Yeah, I'm Team Scott here. I didn't think the Jon Moxley Shota Umino match was that good at all.
Yeah, no, look, man. At the end of the day, we can still have a veteran at the top of the card and have the new guys continue to come up and get elevated while we have a veteran champion who is not Tetsuya Naito. And that's how I feel, and that's how it's gonna go. That's how it feels gonna go down. And when it goes down that way, SP3, you'll remember all four of our faces. And your embarrassment when the shooter who seems to have a hairline fracture in his hip, which I don't know how he's bumping. So at the end of the day, look, man. If he worked me, cool, but he ain't winning this tournament.
He worked you. He's about to make history.
I don't think he did, but to be fair, I think Zach dyed his hair blonde to be a little bit younger too. So just think about that. You're welcome.
Hey, it worked for Cody. So
yeah, there you go. I didn't expect that comparison at all today, but okay.
Joe Hendry too. But we got next up before we get into the B block. What do you guys think is going to be the match of the tournament? So it could be from the A block, it could be from the B block. What do you guys think is going to be the match of the tournament? I'll let y'all look at the blocks once again. Over here, we got the A block like we went over before. You got the B block where we have the full list here with everyone from the B block. What is going to be your call for the match of the tournament? We will start with Sonal on this one. Who do you got for match of the tournament?
Oh, this is hard because I have two, one from each block. So I'm going to cheat a bit because that's what I'm going to do. Block A, I have Naito versus Shingo. I know everyone says like Naito isn't at the best and that he needs someone to help him. I think Shingo can do that. We've said this time and time again that Shingo is an amazing one. And I always think that the interfaction matches always add something extra because while you think that it's going to be like, oh, it's just going to be nice, actually people tend to be a lot more aggressive and they want it more. So I think that one is going to be amazing. Block B, I'm really excited. I know it sounds like a cliche, but Takeshita versus Tsuji. Before, obviously, Takeshita was in AEW, he was DDT, and I used to watch it back then, and he was one of my favorite wrestlers. And I think he is still a phenomenal wrestler who keeps improving. And Tsuji, like we said, Tsuji is the best of the returning lines. He has done so much. And I think they will have a really good match of like trying to prove themselves. Like, I am the best person to be the future of not just their companies, but of professional wrestling. So yeah, I've cheated. I've done 2.
If you had to pick one out of those 2, who would it be? Yep.
Okay,
I'm
just
putting you on the
because
spot.
we're sticking with this whole youth movement, I'm gonna go with Takeshita versus Tsuji.
That is fair. J News, you are next up. What do you think is going to be the match of the tournament?
Man, I think we're gonna have something in common with these matches of the tournament thing. And I think the commonality here might be, no guarantee, might be Takeshita, right? But my match of the tournament is going to be Takeshita versus Jeff Cobb. People keep on sleeping on the big homie, but Jeff Cobb can put on a banger of a match, and I think that though the power style of Jeff Cobb and that hard hitting style of Takeshita, with his agility and everything else in between, man, don't sleep. Jeff Cobb, Takeshita, I think that'll be the match of the tournament. If I had to pick something secondarily, probably Shingo versus Gabe Kidd, but I'm going with Takeshita versus Jeff Cobb.
Takeshita is going to put on a lot of bangers in that B block for sure. Scott, you are next up. I said I wouldn't call on you first, so you're third. Who you got? Match of the tournament.
Evil versus Jake Lee, gonna be an all-time classic.
Everyone's looking forward to that one.
Took my joke.
Everything just clicked for me when I was looking at this. That match is actually happening. I was like, oh no, that's gonna be. It might be the most entertaining Jake Lee match actually I've ever seen, just because of how bad it is. I don't know if this will be the match of the tournament, but for some reason, I'm really looking forward to it. That's Konosuke Takeshita versus Hiroki Goto. There's just something about what Goto did in that New Japan Cup final this year against Yota Tsuji that just gave me life. I was like, okay, Goto still got it in him. And I'm just very excited for Takeshita. I am going to cheat a little, though, because why not? Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shingo feels like a pretty good bet as well.
Hey, they have nothing but bangers all the time. Karen, your match of the tournament.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Gabe Kidd. And I say this because when Gabe Kidd was stuck in Japan during the pandemic and he entered the New Japan Cup, they had such an amazing match. I know it's a very different Gabe Kidd. It was, blue-eyed and young and aspiring, young lion Gabe Kidd. But Gabe Kidd was incredible on the mat, easily, keeping up with Zack Sabre Jr. when it comes to the technical stuff. Obviously, this will be a very different style of match, but if we can get some of that Gabe Kidd, because I think wrestlers like the opportunity to get into a ring with a guy like Zack Sabre Jr. because it gets them the chance for them to show, hey, I'm actually good at this shit. Case in point, look at how good Orange Cassidy was against Zack Sabre Jr. Forbidden Door, pulling out stuff that we don't see from Orange Cassidy. So, yeah, I think, in the right circumstance, if we don't get Gabe Kidd tossing in 20 chairs, fighting too much through the crowd, the usual War Dog stuff, if we get a bit more down and gritty on the floor, I think Zack Sabre Jr. and Gabe Kidd will be low-key one of the best matches of the tournament.
And I will finish things off here, and I will go with Shota Umino versus Naito. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to y'all. I am going to go with what Scott said as kind of an audible mention, Shingo Takagi and Zack Sabre Jr. I think these two guys need to be the guys that New Japan are elevating and establishing, cementing as main eventers in this G1 Climax tournament. And, it doesn't have to be them winning the A block. I have Shota Umino winning the A block, but them just putting on classic matches after classic match, making it into the playoff, I think is enough to cement them as main event stars. I think Shingo should have already been there, being the greatest IWGP World Heavyweight Champion of all time, but they've used him more in the never openweight division more than on the main event scene. But for Zach, these two guys just have great chemistry with one another. They had one of the best matches of the G1 Climax tournament a few years ago, and I think they're going to do that again this year. And I do agree with a bunch of the people in the chat who have been saying Shingo Takagi and Gabe Kidd. The only reason I won't choose that one is because we have seen that earlier in the year, and it was one of the best New Japan matches of the year so far for me. But I think that Shingo and Zach, motivated in this G1, in the A block, they are going to be the guys that have the best matches with multiple competitors in their block. But against one another, I think is going to be the match of the tournament. And now we will officially look at this B block and determine who we got coming out of the B block over here. So, like I said before, you got the full lineup here, full image of everyone in the B block. You got Bolton Oleg, who won the qualifier. You got AEW and DDT's own Konosuke Takeshita. You got Ren Narita of the House of Torture. You got the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, David Finlay, the leader of the Bullet Club War Dogs. You got United Empire's Never Openweight Champion, Hanare. You got Jeff Cobb, the NJPW World Television Champion. Yuya Uemura, the outskirt of the Reiwa Three Musketeers. You got a member of the Three Musketeers, Yota Tsuji, the winner of this year's New Japan Cup. His finalists, also participant in that final earlier in the year, Hiroki Goto, and the man without a family, the man that is all alone, El Phantasmo. What do you think about this lineup here? But most of all, who do you got coming out the B block? We will start with J News this time. J News, your B block winner.
The B block, man. The B block for me, it wasn't a difficult pick because of something that Sonal said earlier. It's got to be Big Suge, bro. If we're going with the new wave movement, someone's got to come out on top from the new generation. It's got to be Yota Tsuji. It's got to be Yota Tsuji. He's the only one who seems to be prepared for the limelight at this point. So I got Big Suge in the B block. It just makes sense at the end of the day. He's the only one who seems to be at least, like I said, minorly ready for a main event at Wrestle Kingdom. And thirdly, I think he's gonna have banger matches across the board with the majority of everybody in this block. There's just I don't see him having a bad match with anyone here. I want to see him get that fiery energy out of Yuya Uemura like they did when they were freaking young lions. That's when that match happens and they can battle it out. And I hope Suge can elevate Uemura in that sense, because he's the odd man out of this whole Reiwa Three Musketeers thing. I need him to be on that level with these guys, because they need all the young talent to rise to the top at the end of the day. But Big Suge for me for the win out of the B block. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna hold it down for myself there.
All right, I'm gonna go over to Ciaran next. Who you got coming out as the B block winner?
Yeah, I think this one's obviously a lot more difficult. Like, we all want Zach and we all think Zach. This one is more open. I agree. Probably Tsuji making the final. The only thing that puts me off is, Tsuji doesn't need to make the final. Like, we're talking about making these new guys and everything, and it will do a lot more for Yuya Uemura to make the final than it would for Yota Tsuji. But is Yuya Uemura really going to be capable of having a great match in, the main event of one of the biggest matches of the entire wrestling calendar, let alone New Japan's calendar alone? I'm not sure. And do New Japan have the confidence in him to be in that role again? I'm not sure. Whereas, Tsuji will deliver, and, short of his opponent being a corpse, he will have a good match with them. There's just really, I kind of see a world where Takeshita makes it to the final, but New Japan obviously shouldn't waste that spot on a guy that's not got, no affiliation to them in the slightest. So yeah, it's the obvious pick, but Tsuji does seem like the only realistic pick to make the final here.
Scott, we'll go over to you next. Who you got coming out the B block?
Yeah, I think I'm on the Tsuji train because I just don't see anyone else that jumps out to me necessarily. Takeshita was the only other one that I was like, maybe, but I think Ciaran was right. I wouldn't waste that spot on someone that doesn't work for the company. They need to keep building up, and they wrestled day one, if I remember correctly. So, with the way the tournament's set, maybe that's the match later in the tournament that, Tsuji gets a win back over Takeshita and gets into the final. Maybe that's something they think of too. But Tsuji is the guy, right? He doesn't need to win both tournaments, but I think putting him in the finals of both is a great spot for him, and it'll do a lot for him moving forward. You get him a big match on Wrestle Kingdom next year, even if it's not for the title, and because I don't need to see Naito versus Tsuji again right now. I just think that's the best case, and then Zach and Tsuji can have an incredible final. I really think that's where they're going, but when I am completely wrong, it'll be like every other year when I try to guess the G1. So what else?
Sonal, you're up. Who you got coming out the B block?
Yeah, this one's a much harder. I think aside from I would technically pick Tsuji, but I don't think just because he's won the cup this year, I don't think like everyone said it'd be great, but I don't think he needs it. I also I wanted to say Jeff Cobb because I feel like it'd be great, but two things, because I've got Zach, I don't think they'll have two Gaikokujins in the final. And also, I think they low-key hate Jeff Cobb. Like, they'll never pull that. Same with, like, Hiroki Goto. So, really, the only other person I can see is Takeshita. I know, like, I should be the person going 180 degrees. Like, I don't want that. I don't want someone from AEW. But I always have had a soft spot for Takeshita. When he was in DDT, I said, imagine a day if Takeshita was ever in the G1 and it's finally happened. So, yeah, just because, like, I think, obviously, the most realistic would be Tsuji, but I just don't. If he hadn't have won the New Japan Cup, and if they'd have given it to Goto again, then I'd have been like, yes. But just because he won the New Japan Cup, I don't see it.
And I am going to agree with Sonal. I think Konosuke Takeshita is coming out the B block. You know why? It's because I've heard all the reports, and most of all, I heard Gabe Kidd. And he said Hiroshi Tanahashi takes his pants down for Tony Khan. So I think that's the only reason why we got Konosuke Takeshita in this tournament is because Tanahashi, Gato, and Rocky Romero are going to teach Tony Khan how you book someone like Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita is going to be the MVP of the tournament in my eyes, and I think that he is going to win the B block. You have him come out, just be a world beater, and it's going to make him want to go back because he makes frequent visits to Japan anyway. He does all these DDT shows throughout the year. He's not always 100% in the US for AEW shows. He's in Japan for DDT. Maybe you want to entice him that when he does make his visit home, that he wants to make these certain tours for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So booking him very strong and having him win the B block, I think is the way to go. I think you have Yota Tsuji beat him on night one. So Tsuji is over. I think Tsuji gets a big win over David Finlay because I think that's going to be the Global Heavyweight Championship matchup either in the fall or even at the Tokyo Dome. I think Yota Tsuji winning that championship and establishing that is going to be the way to really push him and elevate him up the card. But I don't think Yota Tsuji needs to make the finals because he just won the New Japan Cup. I think Konosuke Takeshita, this is not only enticing him to make more visits to New Japan Pro Wrestling, but you're going to put over an AEW talent. And that seems to be the goal of New Japan in 2024. They've been putting over an AEW this whole time, and it's not going to stop in the G1.
I get in trouble if I say stuff like that on Twitter, SP3.
I mean, I have said it. I did a whole video about the relationship. So the thing is that I feel like anybody else I'd be pissed off. But like I said, for some reason it's Takeshita. And I still see him as like the DDT guy. So I have I'm like, I know, like he'd be putting over an AEW talent, but in my heart, they'd actually be putting over an AEW talent. They'd actually be putting over a DDT talent. That's what my thought process is going.
And he's done everything in DDT. Why not try to entice him that when he's back in Japan, work some in New Japan? You can work the big shows for New Japan. Why not? Have him make the final. I'm not saying he's going to win. Maybe. But I'm not saying he's going to win right now. But
and then AEW can sign him fully from New Japan instead, and the circle keeps on fucking moving.
There you go. The circle of life. That's what I'm all about.
The circle of Tony Khan. The circle of Tony Khan.
Yeah, about that. I have this inclination, much like Sonal just pointed out, New Japan's not putting over a DDT guy, brother. That's not happening. That's not happening. Much like Jake Lee's going to go 0-9. I'm not saying Takeshi's going to go 0-9, but the DDT guy is not going to be in the main event of the G1 final. That's not happening, bro. I know that.
He ain't gonna be a DDT guy for long. If you push him right, he gonna be a New Japan guy. That Tony Khan finds
New Japan guy, man.
You know,
the madness.
I'd give Tony Khan a little bit more credit here, but this guy Takeshita beat Kenny Omega a year ago and has done nothing since. So I'm not gonna count on anything with Takeshita yet. I love if he got in the final because you know what? He's a really good wrestler. There you go.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
All it takes is one call from Kenny Omega to Gato, and
the AEW fans get enough, man. We don't stop infiltrating. Fuck off.
Yeah, we need the New Japan guys to be up in this.
You might want Takeshi in that final, so they can't find someone else to sign away.
Exactly.
Another point to be made here as well. Someone said it earlier. The whole Zack Sabre Jr. stuff is like he has outwardly said like he's been offered contracts by every company in America, and I think it was Scott saying it. Like he is New Japan through and through. Like he is no doubt being offered. Like Tony Khan clearly likes Zack Sabre Jr. Like look at the matches Zack gets when he's in AEW, and I'm sure Bryan Danielson was chomping at the bit to let Zack Sabre Jr. beat him, but that doesn't happen unless Tony Khan also says, "Okay, sure." Like Tony clearly loves Zack. He must have been offered some great money from Tony, and Zack, true to his word, he doesn't care about the money. He wants to leave this legacy in professional wrestling, and that's like there's no bigger legacy for him starting than winning the G1. Man, it's got to happen. Fucking labor. It's not Zack Sabre Jr.'s labor, but it's labor all the same. The Euro Sunday. If England win the Euro Sunday, then Zack is winning the G1. That's it. I'm putting
it's got to be the perfect trifecta of good things happening to British people. You know what I mean? It's just got to be the full circle of.
I'll go over to. I'll drive the 15 minutes to Isle of Sheppey and I'll put Zack Sabre Jr. banners all over the fucking.
Oh yeah. Just like sell it. What's the newspaper he always talks about? That he says never.
I don't know. It's not my local newspaper.
He always refers to it like they never want an interview. Just go there, phone them, and be like, "Sorry, you actually need to speak."
Rock up to.
You need to interview Zack.
Yeah.
We got a super chat donation here. Thank you so much, Chase, who got some trash talk from the one and only Gabe Kidd. He says Gabe Kidd said I was broke and wanted to beat those allegations or accusations. So there you go, Chase. But our good friend Follow B, always looking out for us. He said, double down that you're not a poor, Chase, and send another one. And what did Chase do? He sent another one. Thank you so much, Chase, for another super chat donation. He says, now Follow B after me. What I do this morning. Okay. All right, there you go. He says, nice. And also Follow B says, send me my cut. I got you.
Would I dare ask what accusations he's talking about?
Apparently, Gabe Kidd said that he was a poor.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know this, but now I do. I appreciate Chase for giving me that valuable information. And Follow B says, save the yen. We also got Dustin who says, New Japan would need to rob a bank to pay Takeshita the money he's worth. I mean, hey, they're going to rob that bank by giving him the G1 final. Is that not enough? G1 final is going to convince Takeshita that he needs to make more tours for New Japan Pro Wrestling and help New Japan. But we've made it to the main topic here, and you guys have kind of already spoiled it, put the goose before it, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll go right to the person who has already made his feelings well known. Karen, who do you have winning this year's G1 Climax 34 tournament, and why?
Boltin Oleg. Look, we've said it ad nauseum. I don't want to waste everyone's time repeating it, but it's got to be Zack Sabre Jr. It's long overdue. He's one of the only people that can main event with Naito in the Tokyo Dome. He can make the next generation look great. Like everything we have said, like all the signs point to Zack Sabre Jr. Just New Japan have a very easy win in their hands right now after what's been a very difficult time. A very difficult year. They've got such an easy win here. Just fucking do the obvious. No one's going to be disappointed.
Scott, going over to you. Who you have winning this entire tournament?
It's got to be Zach. It just has to be. When you're so committed to a company that you probably could have left multiple times, they got to pay you back. You know, they gotta go with you one time. See what happens with Zach on top. That's just what I'm saying. Give him the G1. I'm not, you know, he should also win the IWGP World Title, but I'm not even saying he has to do that. I just get through the G1 first. We'll get to the Wrestle Kingdom. But he deserves it. He deserves it. He's put in the work. He beat Bryan Danielson this year. He beat Orange Cassidy. He made that TV title the title for most of last year. He saved us from Matt Riddle. I think that alone should give him the damn thing. Give him the win. Just give him the win because there's no one better. There's not a better option in this tournament, in my opinion, than Zach.
Jay knows you're gonna make it 3 for 3.
I'm rolling with the Alice Sheppy, baby. Yeah, ZSJ for the win. Yeah, man, everybody already said and has all the valid points in the world about Zack Sabre Jr. winning this G1 tournament and going on to main event the Wrestle Kingdom, the upcoming Wrestle Kingdom event. There's no better choice at this point in time and phase and stage of the company. There's no better choice right now. And he is going to have banger matches, and he's going to continue to have banger matches because his style won't age. Keep that in mind. His style of wrestling will not age. So I think that's good. That's going to be very important going forward in the years to come as well. So, yeah, man, ZSJ.
ZSJ for the win for you. I will go next, and I agree. The A block winner will win the G1. That A block winner is Shoto Amino. We ain't gonna put no gaijins. We ain't gonna have no gaijins win the Dome main event. What are you talking about here?
That is the only hiccup in all our plans.
Yes, exactly. That's the hiccup. I'm hicking up. I need some water. I need to hold my breath with all the cap y'all putting out there. I'm the one saying the truth of what New Japan is all about. It's all about putting over the next young Japanese star. It's not about putting over a 37-year-old from the Isle of Sheppy. And 36. He about to be 37 by the time we get to the dome. Damn. What do you mean? Oh my God, I'm old. This is ridiculous. Shoto Amino. What are we talking about here? Shoto Amino is the next star. He has stepped up in every big occasion. He will step up in all 9 matches in his block. He will step up in the playoffs. He will step up in the finals, and he will beat Konosuke Takeshita to go on and main event the Dome and become the ace. You may say, oh, they're forcing it on us. They're shoving it down our throats. Well, get ready to open wide because it's coming. The shooter is coming. And he's going to win.
Let's see if he can even.
And you're freaking tirade. Okay.
Let's see if he can even step down off the hospital bed, let alone stepping up for these matches.
He got you all worked. See, he's a magical worker. He's going to be all like this in the G1.
This is the man you want in the G1 final, your Tokyo Dome main event. This is your very serious, a very serious tournament. Yeah.
Yes.
Very serious. We don't need no money dancing. We don't need no fight forever chance. We just want wrestling, man. That's all we want.
Listen.
And he's going to bring the wrestling, and he's going to bring home the trophy of the G1 Climax. Because we're putting over the next Japanese star. We're going to put over a youngster. We ain't putting over
Shota can win next year, like 2026. He doesn't need to win 2025. This is that time.
If it's going to be a freaking Japanese wrestler, then it's got to be Tsuji. If it's not going to be Tsuji.
We already did that. We already put him over. He already won a tournament.
Now Shota win the New Japan Cup then, and then have Tsuji win this if they were going to do it. But Shota can't win this. He can't.
He can. He can and he will. He can and he will. And I will be here CEO dancing during our G1 final review. So now
somebody's gonna run in on you and interrupt your dancing. It's unnecessary.
Shota wins the G1 and does a CEO dance, I'll like stop watching New Japan, just like cold turkey, man. I'll go Marigold, I'll go TJPW, and I'll go like I won't even go Noah, man. I'll go All Japan. Like I'll just I'll cut my ties.
Sonal, who you got winning this year's G1?
Right, I've just got a feeling, right? I've booked my trip to Japan, and the universe is saying that I need to watch Zack Sabre Jr. in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Like all the other guys said, he is the perfect person. For years, he has shown his dedication to New Japan, whether it's in the ring or in interviews. And I just think he is, like everyone said, he is the man that could do it. Like, it's very rare to have Gaikokujin's main event or like win the G1. But I feel like, and I hope that New Japan see him as one of their own. Like, he stayed during the pandemic. He is picking up Japanese. He is speaking Japanese in his post-match comments, which I think is great. And it is just time. It's time for Saberism to take over New Japan.
How long has Zack Sabre Jr. been with New Japan compared to Kenny Omega when he won the G1 Climax? I feel like Kenny debuted in like 2015 as a junior, and he won the G1 in like 2018.
2014, and
he was like 4, maybe 5 years. Like Zack Sabre Jr. has done a much longer stint.
He's done 6 years. 6 years in New Japan.
He's more ingrained as well, and like he's got the Kenny Omega fit. He can speak perfect Japanese. Like he lived out in Japan for a while. His backstage comments are he's just effortlessly going between the two all the time. So he has that edge over the majority of the rest of the foreigners on the roster. I do think SP3 is right though, man. A white guy winning in a Tokyo Dome main event, it just doesn't happen.
But that's what I like to think
until it happens.
But I want to think that they don't see like Zack as just a white guy, that they see him as like one of their own now, just because of like what he's been doing. He's obviously been training Fujita and
hey, if this was going to happen, he would have beat Naito earlier this year, like I booked in January with Jay News and Sonal. I booked it in January. He should have been the one to beat Naito and have the run. He should have been champion coming into the G1. He shouldn't even have to win the G1.
Do you know what the difference
is? He should have been champion already.
You might have booked Okada in January too, though. So
no, I didn't. I knew Okada was out of here.
You know what the difference is, though, yeah? We're talking about, like, a white guy winning in the main event of the Tokyo Dome. One thing is very different to New Japan now for the past 50 years. Hiroshi Tanahashi is the president. And if Tanahashi's got respect for any foreigners on the New Japan roster, it's probably Zack Sabre Jr. Look at their history in the ring, how good they are in the ring. You have to assume they're friendly backstage. I can't imagine they're that fucking good in the ring together and they don't speak a word to each other backstage and they hate each other's guts. Like, there's got to be so much respect between them both. They say it in promos, they'll say it backstage, but as human beings, I feel like they love each other, like, right? Like, they give off that vibe. You can't imagine Zack Sabre Jr. and Tanahashi getting in each other's faces backstage. So it's Tanahashi as the president. That gives me more hope that there's the chance that Zack Sabre Jr. wins this, and there is a chance that Zack Sabre Jr. There's a better chance than ever that Zack Sabre Jr. could win in the main event in Tokyo.
If there's any guy Gokujin to win the G1, it should be Zack Sabre Jr. But I'm also going to put this other point out there so that we can all have this out in the universe. If he doesn't win the G1 and he doesn't appear in Wrestle Kingdom and or win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship by next year, Zack Sabre Jr. should walk out on New Japan Pro Wrestling. For all the years of loyalty and for him to get nothing in return, fuck New Japan. That's what I would say. And I would walk. So at this point, that's really the reason as to why I picked Zack Sabre Jr. to win the A block and then on top of everything else to win the G1. Loyalty should count for something. And at the end of the day, he was probably offered the bag 3 or 4 times and he said no. Give the man the G1, give the man the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom, and let the magic work. And if he doesn't get it, he should walk. That's it.
I feel like while they should, we always say they should respect loyalty, but I think they have a more of a thing of they're homegrown who've gone, and I think that's the one thing Zack doesn't have is he didn't go through the Young Lion system. Like we obviously saw.
You know who did? You know who did?
Oh, we're not going back to this SPD. We're talking about Zack. This is not the time to push a Shota Umino agenda.
Bolton Ole.
Okay, you're the only person not on the Zack Sabre Jr. train, so you are not allowed to bring him into the competition.
Zach. I love Zach. I booked him to be the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And you know what they did? They listened to Tony Khan and they gave it to Jon Moxley for a title reign that none of us are going to remember in a year.
As much as the emo version that nobody remembers.
Listen, man.
Shota Umino. The disrespect of Shota Umino. I will not stand
I
for
like Shota. I think he's amazing. I just don't think he is ready yet to main event the Tokyo Dome.
I love Shota Umino as a human being. I took him sightseeing up London for Royal Quest last year.
Shooter's
he had a great time.
He's a good kid. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Give him a little pat on the head. There you go. A little slap on the ass. There you go. Out the door. You're not in the final. Good job, buddy. Rough boy's hair. Maybe next year, buddy.
30 hours on his entrance, to be fair. His entrance in the G1 is going to extend the time.
Yeah, his entrance is fucking annoying.
You heard him, SP3. He's a Nepo baby. That's
ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Calling him Nepo baby. Everybody
obviously. He's the biggest Nepo baby, the only Nepo baby in New Japan.
But if it comes out that Red Shoes Uno is the freaking real booker behind all this shit, I'm gonna stop watching, man.
And then somewhere, Red Shoes' wife is like, right, if you do not book our son to win, that's it, we're getting a divorce.
Red Shoes is gonna shoot in the middle of a match. He's just gonna do a quick count, like just for his son. Like.
I can't wait. Nepotism in wrestling is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. But this battle has been awesome. I want to thank everyone who joined me today, everyone who joined us in the chat. You guys were great as well. I appreciate each and every one of you and the content you guys do because you give a lot to New Japan Pro Wrestling as well as his fan base. We're going to start with Ciaran. Thank you so much for joining us, good sir. And we need to not make it a full year before we see you again. We need to see you sometime during this year again, sir. But the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, your great content you do on the X Twitter account, as well as on Fightful Overbook. The floor is yours.
Yeah, just mainly at Ciaran RH93 on Twitter. Everyone else here is doing a lot more original content and a lot better content than me. So check out their stuff more importantly. But at Ciaran RH93 on Twitter. And I want to give my time to everyone else so that they can plug their good shit.
Thank you. Scott, the floor is yours, good sir.
I have no New Japan stuff to plug, unfortunately. So this is tough. But you follow me at Scott E Wrestling on Twitter. If you're into Joshi, you can check out the 5-Star Joshi show. Tomorrow's Marigold Summer Destiny featuring Io Sky, Julia, Sari, Utami Hayashishita. I previewed that with SP3 earlier this week on this very channel. So go check that out. I'll be doing a live review tomorrow at 1 p.m. for that same very show. That'll be a lot of fun. If you watch it, it's on tonight at like 1:30 a.m. Eastern. So if you're into that, good stuff. But yeah, that's it for me, and I'll send it over to whoever's next.
Scott, I have a question before you get off. Scott, I have a question. I'm gonna stir the pot. I'm gonna create some controversy right now.
Oh no, what did I do?
You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. I need you to respond to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
What was the bikini photo shoot necessary? Was it necessary?
If it hasn't gone on for years, I wouldn't say. I would, no. I don't jump for joy for it every year. I kind of hide in the shadows every time it happens. But
fair enough.
No, I can't believe that was the question you brought to me. Yes, oh my god!
Yes, absolutely.
Like Scott said, he did some great interviews leading up to Marigold. He's done some great articles talking about, the show as well as the matchup he's looking forward to the most. And check out our preview of Marigold Summer Destiny and Noah Destination that we did earlier this week. A great bit for anyone who wants to get some information on the two shows that start tonight. 1:30 a.m. Eastern, and I believe the Noah show is like 2 a.m. Eastern. So either show. And Harlem is here to do her plugs, but we need to give the floor to Sonal first, okay?
Hi, everyone.
Yes, that's.
I ate my mac and cheese.
Thank you. Breaking news. Sonal, the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
I mean, I don't know how I can follow that, but yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at wrestling_chat. But make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sonal's Life. I have just posted a in-depth preview of myself of the G1, and next week I'm gonna have a special video all about the G1 with Walker Stewart. So yeah, make sure you subscribe so you're the first people to know when it happens. Oh, also, I'm on True Heel Heat a lot, so you can follow my social media to find out when I'm back on.
Yes, we're gonna do the G1 Climax final. Sonal will definitely hit her up for that, as well as this man right here, Jay News, who always tries to get on me, my number one op, which I love. Jay News, let everybody know where they can follow you.
I remember sometime the last time we were on, somebody called me the ops, and I was like, "What, me? No, I can't be that guy." Damn, what was I gonna say? Check me out on the Twitter space, ladies and gentlemen. Your good brother Jay News at John YFNFG. Posting about movies, posting about the New Japan stuff, posting about my run-ins here on True Heel Heat when I come on occasionally to talk that New Japan goodness, as I like to say. So check me out there on that particular space on X/Twitter and on Instagram as well. That's all I got.
Indeed. And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Go over and check out our second channel, True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. Got my review of Beverly Hills Cop Axel F that's dropping later today. So go over and check that out. Karen got the sneak peek of the thumbnail for that earlier today before we went live here. And check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like our Marigold and Noah previews that me and Scott did earlier this week, as well as my exclusive interview with former WWE star Donovan Dijak from earlier this week. We did a live stream talking to him where he revealed pitch leaders for Retribution, who he wants to face throughout the wrestling world, some people that we mentioned here that he would like to go up against in the wrestling world. So go over and check that interview out. And I will be live here tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time with the True Draw Josh for the True Hill Heat flagship podcast, breaking down this week in professional wrestling with Mariah May's heel turn, as well as Stephanie Becaire turning down AEW to go to WWE, and much, much more. But for Karen, for Scott E. Wrestling, for Sonal, for J News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3, and this has been our NJPW G1 Climax 34 tournament preview. The tournament starts next Saturday, July 20th on NJPWWorld.com. So go out of your way to check it out. We'll be talking about it more throughout the tournament, but stay locked on that. But until next time, we're out of here.